Hello. Um, just a few things. A lot of people have commented on my Scorpio video, have liked it. There have been, 4,000 views or something. So, obviously, that means something. And I just want to say that I'm not really sure if there is even such thing as astrology. I basically made that video because I noticed some tendencies for me to act like my sign, my astrological sign. So some things I would do are Scorpio, apparently, according to Scorpio astrology, they're supposed to be aggressive, which I am. They're supposed to be kind of, they have the sting, so if you do something wrong to them, they'll, seek revenge, or they'll slowly um, painfully hurt you back if you hurt them. They apparently, according to the Scorpio astrology definition, we're magnetic, but I'm obviously not. Apparently they are apparently, what were the other things they said about it? Sexual, they're supposed to be the most sexual sign of the zodiac. And, I mean, if being that apparently I'm a Scorpio, if I was to take care of myself, which I do to an extent, but if I was to take care of myself and my sexual energy before I had abortions was really, really high. So I know what that's like. After my I was gonna say fourth abortion. After my second abortion, which wasn't that bad, but my first one really did kill me. So I still have, I guess you could say, sexual energy, but I thought all people did. So I don't know. I made that video because I noticed how I don't know. The only Scorpio women I know of apparently are in my family, and we're all German. So I don't know if even astrology has anything to do with race differences or backgrounds or whatever. But I mean, the reason why I made that video was just generally how I read about it, and I felt like some of the characteristics were like me. But when I really thought about it, I think since I was little, I was always shy, quieter, and I had that Scorpio, what they said was a Scorpio. I had that description of myself, kind of mysterious, quiet, shy, had these little supernatural kind of powers about me when I was younger. Now I don't have that, which is part of maybe aging, I guess. I don't know. But, so I don't know if the whole astrology thing is correct. So if anybody is watching this and watched my Scorpio video, I like to believe that it's true, but it might not be. I mean, speaking for myself, I'm just a true upholder of truth, and I've known I've noticed that a lot of Scorpio women are like that, I guess, but a lot of them aren't. And it just depends on perhaps your upbringing, maybe race or background. I don't really know. Excuse me. But I don't really know. So I don't know. I don't know if astrology is just a load of shit or if it has anything to do with anything. I felt like it might have, because when I read the description of it, I felt like, wow, maybe this is the reason why when guys bang me all the time and they're not happy until they bang me, and, you know, I got real pissed about that, so, you know, and I got these 45-year-olds that just gradually disrupted my thinking of men, and so I backstabbed them by doing things that apparently isn't a Scorpio's nature to do, and I don't know. So, I just wanted to say that I don't know why I made that video in the past, but, you know, if everything's true about a Scorpio, I could see why guys wouldn't be around them, or girls, because girls might be jealous of them, and guys might, girls might not be able to get along with them, and guys might think that they're going to destroy their life, or they'd be afraid they'd backstab them and sting them or whatnot. I don't know. So, I don't know anything. I've listened to astrology tapes about myself. I mean, a lot of it made sense in the background of everything, that in the most complex ways, but in the society that we live in, astrology really doesn't make much sense, and that's why I kind of regret making that video. But then again, I don't, in a way, because I understand it in a way, but you know what I mean? I don't know. And another thing about Scorpios apparently are that they are, another thing about them is that they're like the symbol of death and destruction, which Krishna is the god of death. And I noticed that just a funny thing, when I went to Cal State Fullerton, I logged on to my portal or whatever that they had there, and the thing on the bar, it was http blah 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 blah, http blah 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 / Krishna / blah blah blah. So I don't know. I noticed that, and then I noticed that I had something that I felt like I had a kind of a feeling of that, not really death was following me, but I had these feelings that maybe I might be a part of the reason why all these people are dying off. And I don't know, maybe other people feel that way too, but like, for example, the last death, well, the death of what's his name? I can't remember his name. That black guy that died. I don't remember his name, but I felt that. I felt it. And I felt when all the people that died this year, I felt it. And I don't know if other people did, but I did. And it made me cry. And not because I care about them. They have no significance in my life. And, you know, I'm fully aware of the the Hollywood mess that goes around that scene with the Justin Bieber and that's too bad, you know, but I mean, I feel bad for them, but I mean, if Scorpios, or if I'm a part of this whole death and destruction thing, then I don't see why they don't kill people like me off. Obviously, we're doing harm on this planet, and I don't understand why they have Scorpios still living around, or me, because it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just in a bad place right now, and I'm just... Anyways, so that's my rebuttal against my Scorpio video. Things about other signs I've noticed, if astrology is correct. I've dated an Aquarius. My mom's an Aquarius. I dated an Aquarius for 4 years almost. Let's see, mostly the guys that contact me are Aquarius people. The people that show me more respect than others, I guess you could say, are Aquarius people. The people that show me the most appreciation are Aquarius people. I don't know why. Most of the people I know are Aquarius, so I don't know why. No clue. I don't know if astrology makes sense. I just find it ironic. Another thing, Capricorn guys they normally, I don't know if astrology is correct, but for some weird reason I look up all their birthdays and they're either Aquarius or they're Capricorn. I don't know if astrology is correct. But I've noticed about Aquarius, and I've noticed about if it's correct and you really are an Aquarius, I've noticed they are also somewhat in line with truth-seeking, and that's probably why I connect with them so well. They see that I'm a truth seeker, maybe. They understand my passion for it, and I don't know, I think that might be a reason why they appreciate me, because the humble signs are, Scorpio is a very humble sign when with Aquarius, I think. Scorpio is not a very humble sign when they're in their element and when they have their power, which is somewhat of a satanic kind of power, which you can only develop if you really tried. Apparently there's steps for a Scorpio to be able to achieve a kind of like fiery, some kind of bird, and it's just this really element of extreme power, and basically you can't really, they're just geniuses at that point. I don't know. Bill Gates is a Scorpio, so I don't know if that's correct. Hillary Clinton has my birthday. She's a Scorpio. I don't know. I don't know anything about astrology. I've just noticed little things about people. Maybe it's because I'm just different and I see it. I've noticed, though, how they are kind of similar. Another example, my dad is a Pisces, and when I'm at my greatest, like when I'm at my best, I normally connect really well to my dad, who's a Pisces. We're both water signs. Maybe there's a reason for that. When I'm at my worst, it's like, why would we wouldn't want to be around each other? I have no air element in my astrological chart, which is probably another reason why I have so many Aquariuses. I don't know. I have all water, a lot of water, a little bit of air actually, because Libra I think is an air. And then I have a little bit of Capricorn, which is an earth. And I have a lot of water, and I have some Sagittarius. I have a couple Sagittarius in me. But I do not have any other signs. So that means I don't have any Aries, I don't have any Aquarius in my chart, I don't have any Leo, and I don't have any Gemini. So I have like 3 Pisces, I think, or 2 Scorpios in my chart, 2 Sagittariuses, and I don't know if any of this, I just memorized this shit because I'm not interested in much else. So call me an astrological ignoramus if you want. So anyways, but apparently Scorpio is a water sign that is also fire because they hold a lot of passion along with the water. So I don't know why. But I see myself when I'm kind of like hearing little thoughts going through my brain is that I'm just a water, which is a humble truth sign. Humble truth. You can think of those 2 words. And power, because anything that's truth is power. You know, you can have the most friends in the world, go to the most outrageous parties, be the most famous person, be bubbling happy, but you may not have the truth. And that's where Aquarians and Scorpios, I would think, why they have the biggest egos is because they know, I got something you don't have, sorry, get the fuck out of my way, you know, kind of thing. But I don't know. Oh, I have a Taurus in my chart as well. And I don't know anything about astrology. I'm going to keep saying that. But apparently Taurus is your emotion sign. And I feel the most emotion when I've been around Taurus people. They are very, like, for example, when I listen to Adele, when I'm in a certain state of mind, a certain body frame, and I listen to Adele, I feel my whole body just wants to collapse. I'm so in love with her. I've just like, I fall in love, really. It's because that's part, apparently for a Scorpio, the emotion part is your moon sign. And my moon sign is Taurus. And so when I'm listening to Adele, who is a Taurus, I feel super emotional. In a good way. I feel this power, this passion, because I feel the truth in her. And that's why I guess Taurus and emotions connect. So that's that. Apparently your sun sign is just your personality. So it has nothing to do with the way you look. But I still think Scorpio people look a little bit like each other. I'm not a super skinny Scorpio, and I'm not the fat-ass Scorpios, and there's both, and there's the middle as well, but I've noticed that some Scorpios, when they're skinny, they're really fucking skinny, and when they're fat, they're really fucking fat, and when they're not, they're just somewhere in the middle, doesn't, but normally they're on extremes. I don't know. And seems like that, at least. But I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm not that fucking skinny, but I wish I was. What else? So, what else? So I've noticed that my boyfriend, who's an Aquarius, makes me pretty happy. He's not the smartest guy in the world. So he doesn't have that element that I'm looking for entirely in a man, but he makes me happy, and for the most part, so there's that. But he doesn't, I think he appreciates the fact that I'm a truth seeker and that my whole life is pretty much, the backdrop of it is just truth, and that's what I fucking want. And I think that there might be a time when he won't be able to be in my life because of it, but you know, maybe that's one of those things that's just gonna have to wait until 10 years from now or whatever. I don't know. But, so then my sun sign is Scorpio, which is the personality. Scorpio, which is the personality of the person. Then apparently the rising sign, the ascendant, is apparently your appearance. So I would be a Virgo with that, and that would have to do with my appearance. I looked up some Virgo sign women that are celebrities, but everybody knows celebrities are all attractive. But I noticed they do have a more feminine look, and I said in my last video that they're pretty masculine, which can be true, but I don't know. So I like to analyze things, as you can see, and since I don't really care about politics that much, or economics, or whatever, I tend to try to look at the more spiritual side of things. So correct me if I'm wrong. So anyways, and apparently Virgos, if you have a Virgo ascendant in your Scorpio, not only does that have to do with appearance, but it also has to do with understanding. So if I was to talk to another Virgo, apparently I would be able to understand them. Like, we would see eye to eye. We would appreciate each other because we understand each other. So there is that. Then with the what are the other signs? With a Leo, I don't really know. I know very little about Leos except for the fact that my brother is one. My dad's a Pisces, like I said. My brother is a Leo. Don't know what that means. I don't really know much about Leos. Pretty sure they're pretty smart, though. I'm pretty sure they have a lot of intellect, because my brother's pretty freaking smart. He's a smart guy. And what else? Then there's the fire signs, which I think is only Sagittarius and Aries. Apparently Sagittarius is in me a lot, and that's probably where my drive comes from. Don't know. And then normally, because water sign, the opposite is fire, I can't really help but be attracted to I can't help but be physically attracted to fire signs because of the opposing nature of who I am. So, because our minds are connected to the space, apparently, if you think astrologically, then my mind would, since I'm water, I'd probably be thinking about fire signs in the fact for maybe a more romantic kind of thing. We can't really help that. It's just in the way that our minds work. I dream at night about fire signs a lot. I have a connection to fire signs on a level that we can't physically it's not really a physical level. So, I don't know how to describe it, but normally Aries guys have a certain look about them. If I can think of maybe 4 Aries guys that I've seen and met, and they have a similar look to their faces, which is kind of interesting. And they have similar personalities. And I highly appreciate Aries people because they don't they're not like Scorpios that are all complex and all over the place and you know, just kind of a mess sometimes. They're stronger willed, it seems, and they have a similar power that Scorpios do in truth. And so that's probably where the appreciation comes from, I think. But I think there's, because of the fact that they're a fire sign and because of the fact that their personalities are very good together in a way, they're awful in another way. So it just depends on how you look at it. They say that Scorpios would be best with Capricorns, with possibly Pisces, possibly Virgo. I don't know. I don't know if this is all true. It's all in my head because I read this stuff and it clicks in my head, and I seem to have feelings towards different signs sometimes. So, you know, they all have positive and negative qualities about them, but I think that if you're a Scorpio and you're able to spiritually evolve yourself to apparently the bird, the huge bird with I don't know what the bird's called, but it's not an eagle, I know that. Some other kind of bird, and you gain pretty much supernatural powers. I've been there before, believe it or not. I've experienced it. It takes a lot of fucking work. It's better when you're young, when you're naive and innocent, and, you know, the world is your oyster. But, you know, it's also a good idea that I got together with my boyfriend, because we complement each other in the correct ways, and he brings me the air and he's the water bearer that I never had, and he helped me out, and, you know, he helped me become more mature and opened my mind up to all the things he did, and sexually we were a good connection and all these things, and I'll still be with him for as long as I can. I just got back together with him after our break we had, and now I'm sensing myself becoming back to how I used to be, but it's not necessarily a good thing, and it's starting to make me feel like I need stimulants and drugs and pills and stuff, and I don't really want to go down that alley, because, you know, if all is right and I am a Scorpio, then sex is something that I need, and, you know, being that I'm more of a lower-minded Scorpio, I'm not the, you know, I'm not the enlightened Scorpio that I am with the boyfriend that I have now. I'm not going to say we're the best, but he's a wonderful person in the way he is, and I'm a wonderful person in the way I am, and we accept each other, and it's all good. And, you know, we don't have to be perfect, but, you know, sex is great. It's also horrible, because if you have a feministic mind like I do, it can get kind of fucked up, you know? So that's where our little stinger comes out, I guess. Excuse me. And, you know, that's when things get pretty much, that's when the shit hits the fan. And else? So anyways, I think I cleared everything up. And then I made a video about suicide and death. And I'm currently living in Orange right now, and I'm kind of going fucking nuts because, excuse me, because these neighbors that I have around, you can hear through the walls a little bit, and so it's getting really annoying. And then, but it's not that. That's not the real part that bothers me, really. I mean, one night I was sleeping and I had all these crazy satanic thoughts going through my head, and my neighbor was like coughing really loud and, you know, making me feel evil and all this stuff, and I'm used to that, but geez, you know, it went a little bit out of control, and, you know, that's when my cortisol starts to raise and I start to get angry. And so, and then since I've lived here, which I've lived here for a few months now, probably 5 months now. Well, I can't believe I lasted this long, to be honest, because normally I have to live with somebody. But I've been by myself here, you know, for that long, about 5 months. Maybe 6, I don't remember, 5 or 6 months. So, but since I've lived here, they've had this banging the door issue. So they bang the doors whenever it seems like it's all about me. Like, if ever I think something different, or say something, do something, if I'm gonna go get food out of the refrigerator, they fucking bang the doors super loud. When the only time I don't hear that is when I'm going to sleep. And this has been since I moved here. But now it's getting to the point, my awareness is getting way higher after the time that I've been here. My awareness continues to get higher, and I continue to develop an intelligence after I stopped having sex with the beta males. And since that's happened, you know, the 3 months that I haven't been having sex with the beta males, you know, the doors have been banging like they always have, but this time I'm hearing them louder because my awareness is higher, my brain is more active in being aware, and it's frustrating me more and more because it's targeting the same anger places in my head where I honestly don't think I can take it anymore. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to stay here for as long as possible, but the stress has gotten pretty bad where I did lose a lot of my hair. I cut it all off. I don't care about the hair thing, but, you know, it's really, what it really comes down to is the fact that, you know, I'm here to make money and to be happy while I'm at work and to help people if they need it. And you know, I think it's great that we can be nice and respect each other, and I think that's the way it should be, but I don't really, to be quite honest, I've noticed through my whole life, and it's gotten way worse, that really, like, there's no point in being here. There's no point in being alive on this planet, really, with these mundane tasks that we have to do all the time. Whether you're working at Starbucks, whether you're working at the grocery store, the mall. It's great when you're having your first jobs and you're like, woohoo, you know, I get to dress in fancy outfits and put money in a cash register and open and close it and have a little bell ring and greet customers and show them all the fancy things. That's so much fun. It's fun. Then it gets old, then it gets older, then we start to have our issues, just like working out, just like smoking cigarettes, just like, you know, your alcohol addictions, just like your sex addictions, what have you. It just gets old after a while, and you have to make a choice. Do I want to destroy my lungs, or do I want to work out harder? and have people judge me for it. Either way, they're going to judge me for it. Do I want to work at Starbucks and have people offend me all day and tell me my coffee sucks? Or do I want to go home and watch movies and eat junk food until my bank account disintegrates and I have nothing left and the government doesn't give a fuck? And then they call suicide helplines to put me in a mental hospital. So this is the thing I'm saying, like, there is no real reason why we should be on this planet except to maintain a level of well-being and happiness, and to find someone that will help you and who understands you on a complex level. Then there's love, and love is something you can't really find unless you find it in yourself. And if you're so far from finding it for yourself, then, you know, and you're an atheist as well, then I don't know what the hell. That's why I was wearing my Wiccan necklace, because I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to love nature. And nature loves me back, obviously, because I haven't been bitten by a snake or chased after by a coyote or, you know, bitten by a dog. So, you know, like, nature likes me. Dogs are not really part of nature, but coyotes, or what have you. So anyways, I think I explained everything I needed to. You want to have sex with a beta male? Go ahead and have sex with them. All you want. You're not going to get anywhere in life if you're a Scorpio and you're having sex with beta males. But if you got one that's pretty good, not too bad, makes you happy, I guess you could keep him, but just know that he's not the truth. He's not the truth. And your dreams at night tell you so much about the truth and who you really are at your essence, and why you're not really, why your being is infinite, but your life here is just a waste of time, ultimately. And unless you can find someone to prove you otherwise, just don't give a fuck what people think of you. And do your job and be responsible and, you know, follow your mind and your heart at the same time. And just do that. And stay strong, because there's nothing, nobody wants to commit suicide when it comes down to it. Because first of all, it's dangerous. Second of all, it's hard to do. Third of all, you're gonna die at some point anyways. Why not wait for that time when it comes natural? And just don't give a fuck about what people think of you. I mean, that's all. That's how I live my life personally, and I'm still not that much of a happy person, and I don't want to do the wrong things in life, but my head always goes in that direction, and sometimes I just want to cut out all my thoughts and just be like, fuck all this, but you can't. You just can't. You're stuck in it. You're stuck in it just like everybody else. And that's the one thing. We're all stuck in it. Anyways, that's all I have to say. And I love you all, regardless of if I've ever met you, regardless of if you care, because sometimes people don't care and then they start to, and you're like, what the fuck? But that's not what I meant to say. Sometimes people don't care and they know who you are, but then they meet you or they get to know you and then they start to like you. It's kind of like one of those weird things. But that doesn't matter anyways. The main thing is that this whole YouTube thing, although it is a curse in a way, it's also a blessing because it really shows you how fucking meaningless life is, because not really, but to an extent, because everything is media, media, media. Everywhere is media. And the only real substance you get is by using any kind of, by using any kind of your mind powers that you can to develop an understanding for how this whole thing is, why it is the way it is, and what's going to happen in the future because of it. I don't know why everything is media, 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 but it seems to be working for the majority of people, along with driving Priuses and all the weird cars they have nowadays that I just don't understand why people give a fuck about anything. It's just whatever. But that's just the reason why they're trying to kill me. I don't know if they're trying to kill me, but anyways, I'm not a religious person or a skeptic. I just feel like some forces are evil, and it's far harder to accept the fact that nobody is like you and that you're gonna have to deal with that the rest of your life than to think that that there are people out there like you and that you will meet them. Because our souls are all different. And although we can accept the fact that the similarities are strikingly genuine, that the dissimilarities are painstakingly disharmonious to make understanding for a sense of compassion that exceeds all circumstances, all boundaries, because it doesn't. You can only feel so much compassion for a person, and your compassion will run out, just like everything. That's all I have to say for today. Hope everybody has a good night. I don't feel very good. Well, actually, I feel a lot better now that I went outside. And, but I don't feel bad. I don't really feel bad for anyone that has to deal with the cold and the snow and all this stuff. It's just another reason why the the climate, the planet, the atmosphere doesn't like us anymore. And it's screwing with us for a reason. And it will continue to screw with us because just like weather, just like all of the other the resources we have, they all screw with us at some point. And that's what I'm saying. It's just a big fat war is really what it comes down to. It's just a big fat war. I don't blame any criminals. I don't blame criminals for what they do. I blame the parents, maybe, of the criminals, more so than the actual criminal, because they're the ones who birthed it. And also, I don't think that you should beat someone up on the sidewalk for stealing your purse or what have you, or for being a bully or whatever and beating them up, because that's wrong. That's something that's so wrong that you can't even really comprehend the wrongness of it, because nothing is more wrong than torture. Just like Jesus was tortured on the cross, nothing's more wrong than torture. You can kill someone, you can kill someone with a gun, you can bomb them, you can stick a bomb on their head and blow them up, you can take a, what are those things called where you take it and you take their head off? I don't know if that kills you right away. I think you have to wait a minute and then it kills you. That's kind of sad, but it's just a minute. But anyways, whatever that thing's called. And so those are all fine ways to kill somebody. But we should not be bombing buildings like 9/11. We should not be bombing buildings. We should bomb the person that you want to kill. Take the bomb, stick it on the person's head, bomb them. Don't take bombs and stick them out of a plane and bomb the building. Because the building doesn't need to be bombed, not even the people in it. It's the one person, it's the 2, 3, whatever, 10 people that you want to bomb. If you're going to bomb people at a marathon, what's the point of bombing them? Why don't you just take a gun and shoot 1 or 2 of them that you want to kill because they did something wrong to you? Don't go in a school and bomb and have a school shooting. The whole thing, just like anything, it's target. You target the person. You don't kill, you don't hurt or torture, because that's wrong. That's where we get things like religion coming into play. And you might want to check your facts before you go and you do stuff like that. Bombing buildings, bombing marathon running organizations, all these things, right? There's just too much torture. There's the torture, there's the porn industry torture, there's the torture of bullying at school, there's the torture of women and minorities. There's torture everywhere, but the torture that I'm talking about is the actual beating people. Just, you don't do stuff like that. You don't do it. You don't. If you feel like someone is a good person, if you feel like there's people in the building that are good people, you don't hurt them. And most people are inherently good. Maybe not most, but I think they are. So, anyways. So that's what I think, and I think that there maybe is a reason to live on this planet, but for real, if you if you really love someone, or if you really hate someone, you must do something about that. You must live passionately and assertively, exceptionally assertively. And nothing, no torture is allowed. No torture. Please. Anyways, I don't know why I got into this whole 9/11 torture criminal thing, but one last thing. I love you guys all. I do. And I believe in a bigger theme of things, and I really hope to God that there's a reason behind it all, because I truly believe that I'm meant to see something when I die, or when I'm alive, or when I die, that's just meant for me to see or feel or have occur. Because I am while very much of a nuisance and a problem to humanity, I am also a very beautiful, complex soul with an extremely high desire for truth that most people wouldn't understand. Well, maybe not most, but it is my understanding that most people don't really understand how badly I would fight for truth if I knew that there was a way to find it, or if I knew that it was there, if I knew that it would make me feel good, if I knew that there was love or passion behind it, or whatever. But in humbleness, in humbleness, and in peace and poise and stature, and in the place that I am, all there is really truth. And it cannot be denied, and that is why I don't give a fuck about what people think about me. It doesn't have anything to do with anything, because at the end of the day, what matters is my belief in it, and if I die for that belief, then it will always be there, no matter what, because it always has been there, just at different levels. Anyways, that is all I have to say. Have a good rest of your career. Just kidding. Have a good rest of your night. And I know I look like Miley Cyrus on this camera, but I don't look like her in real life. No siree. No. Oh, no, I don't. I did for a second there. Now I'm just rambling and I sound like a fucking idiot. But for some weird reason, Miley Cyrus is always on the background of my brain. I'm like, get out of my head. No, she's not, but she sometimes pops up in my mental, and I'm just like, why is this Miley Cyrus girl so, like, in my unconscious realms, or what have you? Okay, good night.